Gratitude. It's good to be live once more again and to be greeting you. Always bring this message of emancipation to you. Where I'm pointing you to look no other place but to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. While I continue speaking to you, I'm just waiting for others to join the chat so we can continue this Bible study where we have come to the realization that the Bible is our spiritual autobiography and how we are to use the Bible in reverse psychology because it was used to rob you of your true identity, the way how it was interpreted to you. So when we go through these Bible studies, is to teach you how to actually interpret the Bible psychologically. Because when it was interpreted to you as if it is literal and as if it was secular history, it was done that way to keep you in mental slavery. That is why I'm teaching it in this way, to help you to free your mind and to help you to be in control of your mind, because your mind is the greatest thing that you can possess in this world. And you want to get your heart also in the right place, and you want to be well grounded and connected. Before I go on with tonight studies, I just want to say that those who were speaking in the last chat concerning the heart and the brain, yes, the heart is the place that is connected with our vibration. And I'm speaking from experience because many times when I use my imagination to create my reality consciously, I would feel that vibration of that thing that I'm imagining. And it is being done mostly when I connect my heart with my brain. Some people refer to it as heart-brain coherence. And even the Caucasians, they have a machine that they use and they do hook people up to. But I do get that experience many times when I'm using my imagination to create my reality. I would vibrate. Just recently I was on the bed and I was doing an imaginal act, and my girl was next to me on the bed and she was telling me how the bed was actually vibrating. So, and all of that have to do with your heart. So basically, you have to guide your feeling or the perception that you hold about yourself. So the heart is not just an organ to pump blood around the body as some people think. It's the place of vibration. Okay, and when a woman now become pregnant, it's actually a vibration. Life itself is a vibration. And everything actually vibrates. Nothing rests. So just to put an end to that little debate I would have seen in last week's chat, because I couldn't respond to the chat, I was just more focusing and teaching. The heart is very important, and you must always connect the heart with the brain. Okay, it's the most powerful um, organ in the body also, which is the heart. Okay, and actually, some people more try to think from the brain more than think from the heart. That's why many people do not follow their intuition. They do not follow their gut, what we refer to as following your gut feeling. Okay? So you have to trust your heart. Okay? Now, we're going to continue this Bible study. And what I want you to get out of this Bible study is that when you're in control of your mind, then you'll be in control of your life and you'll be in control of your reality, and you'll be able to create your reality consciously, because you'll come to realize that imagination is the creator in everyone, and so you can use your imagination to create your reality consciously, Because throughout this whole Bible study, this is what I'm trying to get across to you. That when you understand St. John chapter 1, then you will understand the formula of creation. Because in Matthew 6:33, you've been promised that if you seek first to discover the kingdom, and you discover the kingdom, that you will discover the secret of creation. That's why I said all these things will be added unto you. No, when you discover the secret of creation, it means that you discover the formula. And the formula is actually in you. And when you think about the things that you desire in your life, if you get those things, it will give you a certain feeling. And that is why if you can get into that feeling before you ever obtain or manifest that which you desire, that you would manifest it because it's on a vibrational frequency. And as long as you can match that vibrational frequency, that thing will vibrate right back to you and it will come to you. I'm speaking from experience. So the law of vibration is something you definitely have to understand. So you have to really understand that the heart is more than just an organ, as I see one person would have been commenting and was saying, and some people were disagreeing with him. I think his name was Yoda, something like that. Okay, but yes, the heart is the place of your emotion that must be intact when you're using your imagination. Okay. Now, before I go on any further, I just want to draw your attention back to verses 3 and just reiterate that I'm trying to teach you that when the Bible said that all things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made, it is speaking of your imagination. And that's the essence of what I wanted to get. Because when you understand that the whole Bible, from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22, that is a psychological drama, then you will understand it is teaching you the story of creation. And when you understand the story of creation, then you will know how to create your reality consciously. Because you will understand how thoughts works. You will understand how the mind works. So the entire Bible is mind science. It's all about the mind, and that is why you have to take control of your mind. You cannot allow politicians to take control of your mind to think for you. You cannot allow preachers to take control of your mind to think for you. You cannot allow your teachers and educators who miseducate you to take control of your mind either. You are responsible for your thoughts and your actions, and this is what has been taught throughout the entire Bible. But many religious people believe that it is literal and that it is secular history. That is why many of them never question the pastor when he said that the Lord spoke to me. As I would always say, ask any pastor, any Christian, what they mean when they say that the Lord speak to them. Who is the Lord that is speaking to them? It have to be your intuition. It have to be that inner voice that speaks to each and every one of us that they are talking about. They can never tell you as some outside God that is talking to them. But because of their ego, they're afraid to tell you that when they say the Lord speak to them, they're speaking about their intuition, or they're speaking about their mind, or sometimes we say, the Spirit tell me. What is the Spirit? The Spirit is you, it's your essence. You spirit having a human experience. And that is why you have to understand this book psychologically. And that is why also I decided to make sure I get the Bible like this for you. And let you know that you are a magician. And that these 66 books is all teaching you about your magical self. And how you must discover your magical self and use your magical powers to create your reality. So when you learn to do that, no one can tell you that if you want to keep a certain job, you have to wear a mask. Because you're in control of your mind and you understand the law of vibration and you understand how to connect your heart with your brain and send a frequency out, and it's going to return unto you. It is said that your words will never return unto you void. It must accomplish that which you send it to. You have the authority, you have the power, and that is what I'm trying to accomplish through these Bible studies, to get you to understand that everything you see in this world, it was first imagined, that it was first an idea, it was first a thought, and that there's no other creator, neither is there any other creative power. Don't let no religious person tell you any foolishness. They all work for money, and money was first a thought. Money was first imagined. It was first an idea. You were told, in my father's house there are many mansions. You cannot look in a house and see a mansion, but you can look within yourself and realize that you can imagine anything. And you can realize that every millionaire and every billionaire and everyone who owns a literal mansion, they first have to have it in their mind. So all things exist in the human imagination. And that's the key I'm trying to get across in this Bible study to everyone who would ever listen to me and get to understand what I'm trying to teach you. I'm teaching you about yourself. This Bible have nothing to do with anyone who existed thousands of years ago. It's all about you, and you have to be the one who have to grab hold of your own power and use your power to achieve your every desire. That is why in verses 11 it says that he came unto his own and his own received him not. When he said he came unto his own and his own received him not, every one of us that has been expressed on this earth was given the power of will, perception, memory, reasoning, intuition, imagination. These are not vague essence. Put all of these together and you will have God in flesh. And this is what people have been rejecting when he says that he came unto his own. Because you've been educated in school to believe his and him and so on to be some personal pronoun. You're thinking that it's speaking of a person, but it is a personification that represents your imagination. You see, imagination, which is your true essence, it's your own. Only you can imagine for yourself. And when I say that, I mean only you can have a thought for yourself. Because even if someone asks me to use my imagination on their behalf, they will already have in mind what they would like me to imagine on their behalf, or what they would like to acquire. And when he say, and his own receive him not, it means that you have something so precious. You have something, a power that creates all things, and you're not receiving that power because you're not accepting that that power is in you. You're not accepting that you're God in flesh. You thinking that there's a God somewhere outside of you. You believe God is some man that lives in the sky looking down on you, ready to punish you and send you to some hell, while you actually living in hell because you're living in fear. It's only when you live in fear that you're actually living in hell. That is why they want to make sure you put a mask over your face. They want to make sure you believe in some sort of pandemic, because they realize that the people on this planet are waking up and they're coming to realize that they were lied to From since we all were children, we were lied to. They lied to us in school. They lied to us in church. The politicians, they all lied to us to keep us submissive and to keep us controlled, so we do not know that we have our power just like them, and that we are all equal, and that there is no hierarchy and there is no aristocracy. There is none. They're just different levels of thinking, different level of consciousness. So there are those who are thinking like beggars, there are those who are thinking like thieves, there are those who are thinking like a rapist, there are those who are thinking in terms of lack, and there are those who are thinking in terms of abundance. But if you look around you, you see abundance all around you. That's basic common sense. Therefore, there is nothing good in embracing poverty. There's no virtue in embracing poverty. And that is what most religious people do. They embrace poverty and try to say that I am in the world, but I am not of the world. Then if you're not of the world, then why are you accepting money? Or why are you going out and work for money? Why don't you just call on a God in the sky to rain down money for you? If he's your provider. If you don't get up and get by using your gifts and your talents and using your abilities that was given to you, how are you going to get something? You are the savior of your life. You're the one who have to save yourself. You're the one who have to redeem yourself. You're the one who have to believe in yourself. You're the one who have to trust in yourself. Even those who are brainwashed and believe in a man 2,000 years ago and believe a man gonna come from the sky for them, they actually believe in that within themselves and don't even know that they're actually doing it. And it's all in their perception. They don't even realize that, because if they realize that, they will realize that to believe in God is to believe in yourself. To trust in God is to trust yourself. That's why you have an inside teacher known as your intuition. So let me just continue with verses 12 here, where it says, but as many as receive him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God. When you receive and accept your God self, it will teach you of your identity. So when you speak about sons of God here, all it's just doing is teaching you of identity. It's just teaching you of oneness. It's teaching you of being connected. That's what it is teaching you here. It is not teaching you of some God outside of yourself. For example, let me give you an example, right? There are many religious people who would say, I'm a child of God, or I'm a son of God. So then I will ask them, okay, when I look around, I see the child of a horse will go to become an adult horse. I see the child of a dog, which is a pup, will grow to become an adult dog. I see the young of a cow, which is a calf, will grow to become an adult cow. So then if you're a child of God, you telling me you're going to remain always just being a child of God, a child of God, a child of God. You're not God. You're not going to grow to discover that you're God. It doesn't make sense. So when I speak here about sons of God, it is speaking here to teach you of your individuality, yet it is teaching you of your duality. Teaching you that you're the one who have rights to the crown, to the robe, to the ring, to all of that, because it's just teaching you that all of that belongs to you. They gave us kings and queens to rule over us. When you're a king and you're a queen, for example, in my country, you have the queen in Buckingham Palace. Her head is on the money. When you realize that money was first imagined, money was first a thought, it was first an idea, you realize you have just as much power like how to put your head on the money. How are you going to put your head on the money? By using your imagination to attract the money to you. When you use your imagination to attract the money to you, it's like your head is on the money also. Because you realize that money, our real money, is here. It's mind power. It's just transmutation of energy. It's just the formless being manifest into form. It's just the invisible being made visible. And you have that power. So it doesn't matter who want to put their head on the money and make you believe that they're rich and they have power over you. For example, in the Caribbean here, when someone coming from Buckingham Palace in England, they have the little children waving flags and bowing down. All of that is mental slavery. And you can't correct the people because they say, first of all, I am crazy. That's what they will say. He's crazy, he's mad. Because everybody is doing it. Everybody's bowing down. Everybody's giving away their power. There are very few people realize that their real money is their currency, and the real currency is the mental frequency, is what frequency you're going to dwell on. The Queen in England have to go to the toilet, just like you. The Queen in England have to take a shower, just like you. If you don't brush your teeth and take care of your mouth will smell. The same thing with the Queen too. So that no one have anything over you. And that's what I'm trying to teach you. No, that's why I don't look up to no one, and I do not look down on no one. I don't look up to no pastor. I don't look up to no politician. I don't look up to no queen. I don't look up to no king. I don't look up to no I don't look up to no so-called hierarchy and aristocracy, because I do not believe in that. I believe in the laws that governs all of humanity and the laws that governs the universe. And I believe everyone have a right to make their own decisions in life. So you are the one who have to receive the power, because you say, but as many that receive him. So it's a choice. To them give he. When he say give. People think it's you talking about some God outside say, I'm going to give you something. You have it. But you have to harness it. You have to harness the power in you. That's what he's speaking about here. Even to them that believe on his name. What is the name? The name is I am. Even unto them that believe on his name. What is the name of the power that is in each and every one of us? The name is I am. Because you see, my brother, my sisters, when you really understand that the universal question of life is who am I, and when the answer comes, it must be I am, then you will understand when I say to you that Moses is not a man who existed thousands of years ago. Moses is just a parable concerning your birth, where you be taken out of the water, been hidden in a basket. You was hidden from the damn rest of the world when you was in your mother's womb. And she was stopped. She wasn't seeing her period anymore. But then before you could be expressed here, her water back have to be burst. That's the river. Okay? And when she water back burst, then she passed blood. Then there comes the expression of you, the life. That's your first birth. And when you was inside of the womb, that was your water baptism. You don't want nobody to come and take you and dip you in the water and tell you no bullshit. Most of the earth is water, and most of your body is water. Why you have to go down in the water to signify death, burial, and resurrection of some man 2,000 years ago, when you're the one who would experience both the death, burial, resurrection, everything, and all of that would take place in one night when you have the experience? Because I am speaking from experience. Who can tell me otherwise when I had the experience? Who can tell me I am such and such a years old? I am millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions. I can't, there's no counting. My brother, my sisters, when you really awake within yourself and come out of your skull and become invisible, my brother, my sisters, it's the most powerful experience you'll ever experience in this world, You realize you're not human. You realize you're not limited. One thing you will realize too, that you're nothing. Absolutely nothing. You're just like the wind. And consciousness is the only reality. There are people who can say it, but when you experience it, it's something else. You will realize that you cannot be killed by fire. No atomic bomb can really kill you. No atomic bomb can kill you. No gunshot can really kill you. It will take you out of this dimension into another dimension. But that which is in you, it can't die. It can't actually die. That's why if you leave here being ignorant, you're going to find yourself in a world just like this, still being ignorant until you learn the phenomena of life and finish this journey to understand that you're millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of years old. That this life is a dream. I know it's a dream. I know when the Bible says that you shall change from mortal to immortality in a twinkling of an eye. I know it's an opening of an eye, and the opening of the eye will take place inside of you and will happen just after a great and mighty shaking. I know that. And the two light that are going to meet and embrace at the base of your spine, a blue flame and a golden orange flame. Those two flames are going to meet at the base of your spine. That's why I know everything is energy. When you look at the sun, if you do sun gazing, you will see the golden light I'm speaking about, the orange golden light. And if when you go into bed, when you're feeling very drowsy and so on, and you look within your skull for the blue light that I'm telling you about, it could be a frightening experience for you, because if you really hold to it and search for it, you feel yourself when you actually fall asleep and you slip out of your body, and feel when you actually slip out. And you will have a moment right between their conscious and unconscious where actually you could think. I could think about what you desire in this world, and it's like a genie right there that will give you anything you wish in this world. But as I always say, when it's time to wake up, you might find yourself outside your body. But all you have to do is just imagine yourself and remember you was on the bed lying and so on, and you start to feel the imagination and so on and so on, and then you will wake back up. That's why fear is crippling. And if I didn't experiment, I would not do these things. And I'm telling you, the first time it happened to me, when I was trying to wake up, I was scared as shit. I was fighting and fighting. For days I ended up with a pain along my chest here. Because you see, my brother and my sister, your heart chakra is very powerful. Don't underestimate your heart. That's why you have to get your feelings right. That's why religion play with your feelings. Politicians play with your feelings. In school, as a little child, when you're doing they're playing with your feelings. The perception of what you hold about yourself. That's why I wrote the book called Your Mood is Your Fortune. Your mood is your fortune. That's why laughter is the greatest medicine. You can't get me laughter with a mask over your damn face. What kind of laughter you can get when you're wanting to have what? Social distancing and telling you keep away from this and keep away from that. All the social contacting that we used to have, all the joy and all of the happiness, they want to just remove that from us. To what? To affect your vibration. The magnetic field, the energetic field. They want to have influence on that field. So if you do not understand, there's an energetic field. And it's magnetic and electrical. If you do not understand that, and you do not realize that everything is taking place fourth dimensionally, and you must be connected in the fourth dimensional world, and be connected with your true self. They come up with all kind of so-called laws in the so-called court, with the so-called judiciary, and put it, and as long as they get a certain amount of votes, they make it a law. It's all designed to control you. And the religious people will never understand until this whole pandemic thing get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and then they're going to realize the thing that been said all the time is the truth. By that time, they might have a false man in the sky coming down and they might believe. Because you have enough technology that you can do that. So you are the one who have to take hold of the power according to verses 12, okay? Let me go to 13, so let me just read back 12 and come down to 13. But as many as receive him, which is your power within you I'm speaking about, that him is not no man known 2,000 years ago. Forget about the idol, right, okay? To them gave he power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name. And remember I said already the name is I am. You could never say I am and not referring to yourself. I am ain't speaking about no man 2,000 years ago. I am ain't speaking about no God outside of yourself. When you say I am the way, the truth, and the life, it's because the way is within you, the truth is within you, and the life is within you. You can't look outside yourself for life, you have to look within yourself. You can't look outside yourself for truth, you have to look within yourself. You can't look for the way outside. How you look for the way outside? You have to look for the way within. Because all the perception is from within. Everything is from within. You hear me from within. You see me from within. Everything is taking place within. All things exist in your imagination, in your perception. Okay? Which were born not of blood. Because all of us were born of blood, as I said before. You read, see? Nor of the will of the flesh. All of us here was expressed in the fleshly realm, nor of the will of man. All of us here were indoctrinated by the man-made philosophies that they put in place to try to keep us grounded and keep us limited, but of God. So you have to be born of God, and to be born of God is to have a change of mindset, to know your higher self, to know that God is not a man, a big man in the sky who is imposing some sort of power over you. That's bullshit. And that is why we have to come up with something like the pandemic to try to keep us from this kind of awakening, because we are destroying religion altogether using their own damn sword. That's why I'm using the Bible. We are using all the political games that we're playing on them, and show you that you don't need any politician to run your damn life, because you are the Lord and Master of your own damn destiny, because it's only your thoughts that could create your personality. Why you think you have so much of people in prison? It's because of ignorance, and they do not realize that it is their thought that is creating their personality. That is why you have to know what kind of thoughts you're allowing in your garden. Because the Garden of Eden is your mind. This way you have to till and you have to weed it. And remove all of the distractions, and remove all of the lies that was told to you, and eat from the tree of life. The system wanted to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's why they come up with a false system of law and hid the laws that governs all of humanity from the masses. So when you see Donald Trump holding up a Bible like this, don't take it for a joke. And then Donald Trump said, we always win. As long as they continue to use the school system and the political system and the religious system and get you to vibrate under the frequency of fear, then they will always win. But you have to be fearless, and that's how you will take back your mind. You have to take control of your mind. It's your life. I remember a movie I looked at long time ago. Okay? And when I came to consciousness, I couldn't remember the name of the movie, and I saw it and I found it. I think it's called The Last Dragon. Yeah, I think that's the movie I was looking for. It's The Last Dragon, right? Right. I think it's The Last Dragon. Okay, let's call it the black guy, Bruce Leroy, right? Okay, and if you find that movie, you must look at it. Okay, and he had a teacher, a master. After the master taught him everything, he tell him there's no more need to teach him, and he sent him to look to find I think was the master, I think. Okay, and he was looking, and to cut a long story short, basically he was looking and searching for himself. And then the person who we normally refer to as the crook, okay, and the opposer, he was always beating him and pushing him around and wanting him to bow down to him. But not until he accepted his own power, because he used to beat him and ask him, who's the master? Who's the master? And he wanted Bruce Leroy to say that he was the master. But no, when he catches himself, he said, I am the master. And when he said, I am the master, that's when he had all his power. And that's when he started kicking ass. You must go and get that movie. Search for that movie. You'll find it. It's on the internet. The Last Dragon, I think is his name. Okay? So you're the one. You're the real superhero. There's so much YouTubers making video of some guy who act Black Panther. These people in Hollywood are not any celebrity and no hero. All of us are heroes, celebrities, whatever you want to name it. Because all of us have that superpower in us. And you have to discover that superpower. And realize that you didn't just born of flesh and blood, but you've been born of God also. That you are God in flesh. You must hold to that identity. Let me read verse 14 for you. And the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. That word among is a mistranslation. Okay, it was supposed to be and dwell within us. Okay, so my brother, my sister, do not make the language fool you. And dwell within us. And we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. Let me explain that for you. Okay? You are the real expression and glory of the Father, because the Father is the power that is within, which is the immortal you, and the outer is the expression of the inner. So that is what it is speaking about, because this is what happened. Your father had millions and millions of sperm, but it took one sperm to be you, and you are the one who materialized into form and come to have this human experience. So you are the only begotten son, not anyone else. Whenever you read about the only begotten son, it's a story of humanity. All of us who've been expressed here, we are the only begotten son. And when you realize that you're the only begotten son, that must be holy glory by manifesting your reality consciously. Because when you manifest your reality consciously, you understand the creation story, because you're beholding the glory. That's what it's showing you right here. Then you will understand grace and truth. Now, when you understand grace and truth, you will understand gratitude. You will understand thanksgiving. You will understand true love, which is agape love, unconditional love, God love. Real love is unconditional. You cannot have a God who's omnipotent and omniscient and omnipresent and do not have unconditional love. So when they tell you some God gonna punish you and send you to some hell because you do this and because you do that, like for example, when they tell you if you have sex before marriage, which is bullshit. Those who would tell you that, ask them to tell you where in the Bible that states that you must go and pay the government a certain amount of money and sign a piece of paper to get some type of license to have sex without guilt and shame, so you could justify yourself and say that you're married. And then, if you want to make the marriage null and void, then you have to pay money for a divorce. It's all bullshit. There's no preacher who can tell you that the marriage that the government instituted, that marriage is in the Bible. It's not. When the Bible speaks about marriage, it's speaking about the union of the conscious and the subconscious mind, the male and the female. It is speaking about energy, vibration, and frequency. And I can go on and on with that, but I've written a book called The Truth About Marriage. Many people don't like when they walk that kind of path because many people believe that marriage is real. Yeah, many people believe because they stand up next to a man and the man read from a little book and say, repeat after me, and he repeat after the man. And the man call himself a marriage officer, and then he say, he have power inside a he that give you power now for kiss your wife. And you feel justified, you go home now and you have sex, like we call honeymoon, and you feel justified now and you say, well, you ain't having sex is sin. But once you have sex and you do not understand sex, it's sacred energy exchange, and you can use the sexual power to achieve your every desire, to create whatever you want in this world, because the most powerful creative energy there is, and the most creative power there is. That is what expressed everyone in face of this earth. The richest person on this earth came out of a vagina. Unless you don't understand that, you understand marriage, which means you're married in ignorance. If the marriage that the government gave us was real marriage, then it means if a husband beat up the wife, or if the wife beat up the husband, they should still stick together because it's marriage. But it's not real. It's not real. Real marriage is when the two people can really vibe together. When you're really compatible with each other. And you're helping to build each other in every way. Including financially. Because most people that goes to church, they're broke. While the pastors are living lavishly. Taking their money. And then this guy is a tithes and offering. So we have to speak the truth. So that is why you say now you come to understand grace and truth. Truth is knowing who you are. True salvation is self-realization. It's only when you realize who you are that you will come to truth. And when you come to truth, you will expose all of the lies. That's why going to church is a lie. Because even the Bible that you're walking and carrying to church with them tells you that God do not dwell in temples made of hands. What am I saying to you? I'm saying to you that God is a power that dwells in you. You are the temple of God. Don't make the word God trick you to believe it's some person. It's just the power of the life that is in you. It's God. God is life and life is God. I once asked a preacher this question as a pastor. I saw you on the television and I want to ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? He said yes. I said, Pastor, can you separate God from life, all life from God? He said, no, you can't separate God from life, all life from God. I said, so Pastor, so then you're saying to me, right? Everyone have God inside of them. He shut his mouth. He couldn't say nothing else. After that, he never wanted to have any other conversation with me again. They know who they can fool. Politicians know who they can fool. Preachers know who they can fool. They know who they can fool. Okay? Let me go on to verses 14. Where it says here now, yeah. and the word was made flesh. Let me just elaborate on that. When you talk about the word was made flesh, okay? Now, you have to realize a word is a thought expressed, okay? So when you say the word was made flesh, okay, you have to understand that you are a thought evolved being. Your mother and your father first had a thought before they put the sex acts together to express you. Okay, so it all begins. Your existence first begins with a thought. That's word becoming flesh also, and I'm going to show you it in another way. Everything in this world that you see, that you can contact with your five senses, that you think is solid, okay, all of that was first a thought. It was first what you refer to as the word. The word is the invisible substance. It was first that. It was formless. And the formless become formed when it becomes a matter. So everything comes from spirit to matter. So when it says that the word was made flesh and dwell within us, it is speaking of the power that is within you to create anything that you can contact with the five senses. That is why it goes in another place, and we handle him. The things that when you manifest it, you will be able to contact it, you will be able to handle it. Just imagine a man many years ago had the idea, had the thought to invent the aeroplane. And no one believed. It is said when the Wright brothers had the idea of the aeroplane, that their father was religious and he preached against them and tell them that they were going born in hell because they're trying to be God because they want to fly. But it became an objective fact. That's why it means when it said the word become flesh. The thing that you believe that you can't see, the thought, the idea that you hold in your mind, but you believe, and because you believe, you put action to it, and you see the manifestation. That's what it's speaking about. And then you will behold the glory. So you can look at it two ways. Now let me go on to verses 15. It said, John bear witness of him. When it said John, here it is speaking about John, the baptizer, which is speaking of your outer man. Your outer man is John, not a man thousands of years ago. That's why I tell you that John comes before the Christ, showing you that you will recognize your outer man before you really realize or recognize your inner man. But then, when you recognize your inner man, you will realize that the inner man was before the outer man. That's why it's teaching you. So John bear witness. When you believe in the power that is within you and you put your imagination to work and it manifests, it will bear witness when you could contact it by the five senses. Then you will understand how everything that is visible was first invisible. Then you will understand everything in the world is actually spiritual because it came from spirit to matter. And Christ said, this was he of whom I spake. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. You get it now? When you discover your Christ self, those would be the expression that would come from you. You're that John. Not a man 2,000 years ago. You're the one who will recognize your Christ self and realize that the Christ self was before the outer shell. That's what it's all about. So many people read the Bible and think that there was a man, a separate man named John the Baptist, and there was a man 2,000 years ago. It's not true. It's all states of mind. It's all states of consciousness. And even that belief that they have, it's all have to do with the perception. It's still taking place within their imagination. Proving to you that everything in this world was first imagined. It was false an idea. The Bible was false imagined. It was false an idea. No one cannot write unless they were false inspired. No one could invent anything unless they were false inspired. So when religious people want to tell you that holy men wrote as they were inspired, we get the motor car because they are men who were inspired. We have airplane because they are men who are inspired. We have money because they are men who are inspired. We're wearing clothes because they are men who are inspired. Just one power. And then religious people try to make you believe that there was these special men who are inspired in a special way. No, it's just one power. But I can say to you that the mystics who wrote the Bible, they were writing it based on experience, and they were putting all of this psychology, which is spiritual psychology, together in a symbolic way. And that is why many would stumble at it, because your greatest teacher is your experience. And if you do not exercise your mind and learn to think out for yourself and break out of the matrix or out of the maze, you will never get to understand what has been unfolded to you in these scriptures. You will think it's some religious book for you fool yourself and jump up and down and speak a bunch of gibberish and say that you speak in tongues and say you're anointed and believe that you're more better, you're more holy than other people, and fooling yourself because you're not willing to face yourself and realize that you're your own devil, because your negative thoughts is what being represented by the devil. And your positive, uplifting, creative thoughts is what we refer to as God in man. When the Bible speaks about God in man, it speaks about your imagination, it doesn't speak about anything else. And of His fullness have all we received, and grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses. But grace, you see, but grace and truth came by you having the Christ experience. How else could it come? How else could grace and truth come? So let me break this here down for you, right? Remember, Moses is speaking about your first birth, where you were taken out of the water, being in the basket, being in the womb. Moses meant to be born, to be drawn out of the water, get that, catch the parable, catch the symbols that all represent humanity, because this whole book have to do with a spiritual autobiography. Catch it. So it is by law, because everything is governed by law. The laws of thoughts, the laws of energy, vibration, and frequency. Okay, so all of us have been expressed here based on the laws. And those laws that governs the universe and governs all of humanity, when we've been expressed here, we realize that the body is a slave to the mind. And we realize that there's a system that wants to keep us enslaved. And how does that system keep you enslaved? By the power of choice, and they give you a choice with their indoctrination. So you have a choice to hold on to their indoctrination and to let go of their indoctrination, and to let go of their indoctrination is to let go all religion. But grace and truth came by I am. So you can write your name right there, or you can write I am, because I am is the name of God. Christ is the experience. Now, the reason why I give you this kind of Bible where it have this blank space next to the Christ with no Jesus for you to, it is for you to write your name. I hope you see it. Okay? And those who have this Bible, it gives you the opportunity to unite with your higher self by claiming this truth. So if you write, I am next to the Christ, you're claiming your Christ self. You're claiming your Christ energy. You're coming close and closer to your awakening. You're coming closer and closer to wake up out of the matrix. And I'm speaking from experience. And the reason why I can do this, it is because I've come to the experience of my Christ self. I've come to my Christ consciousness. I've experienced the death, the burial, and the resurrection. And I can say to you that we are all eternal. And that we are one. Therefore, don't let no one keep you in any kind of deception. Now, let me just say this before going any further. If you check all the different religions that black people believe, all of them, they were started by some white man or some white woman, okay? And I'm not talking race because I believe there's only one race, okay? Which is the human race. So I'm not talking about race, but I want you to get something clear. Let me thank my brother for the donation. Thank you very much, my brother, for the donation. So let me go on here. So you have the Jehovah's Witness, you have the Seventh-day Adventists, you have the Mormons, you have the Baptists, you have the Presbyterians, you have the Wesleyans, you have the Lutherans, and you can go on and on and on and on and on. And all of these different religious bodies, they were started by some white person, okay? And the Jehovah's Witness has their own Bible. The Mormons have their own Bible. The Adventists have their own Bible too. They have book with Ellen G. White too, and they have all of that. But you realize the only people who believe that the Bible is such a holy religious book that they can't benefit from it is black people. That is why they never do anything to the Bible, add any kind of change to the Bible or anything like that. They have all different versions of the Bible, all kind of revised version, all kind of simplified version. And if you check who really did it, it's some white man or some white woman. And black people afraid to touch it because they believe that is a special kind of book. So don't do nothing to that. Don't take away anything. Don't add anything. That is blasphemy. There are people in my country who would castigate me for doing this. But they don't realize, you see this Bible? The Bible is like a big cake. And everybody's name is written in it to get a slice. And the only people who don't want a slice out of it is black people. Because they believe that is a special book. And they realize that is about their own spiritual autobiography that must be interpreted psychologically. And to understand it, they have to use reverse psychology. So my brothers and my sisters, the only how grace and truth could come to you is by you accepting your Christ self, not Jesus. I would speak against Jesus as a literal man with blue eyes and blonde hair who are the earth 2,000 years ago till the day I leave this earth, because I know it's a lie. There's no one in this world who could tell me otherwise. I know that no woman ever existed in this world by the name of Mary who spread her leg and gave birth to a child from down below, from her vagina, while she was still a virgin. What special powers? All of that power is in every one of us. There's no man who died on no cross for the human race. All of us will die on this cross. This is the only cross that we will die on. Your skull is Golgotha. This is Calvary. Here's where the crucifixion will take place, the death, the burial, the resurrection, the birth, everything take place right here. This body is the tomb. Nobody tell me otherwise. A white image of Jesus is a curse. And once you accept that curse, you live under that curse. And you're accepting poverty instead of accepting abundance. By accepting your identity, by accepting your divinity, by accepting your I amness. I can tell anyone, Christ is an experience, and you have all right to put your name next to that experience. Now, your parents may give you a name, and those two names, like for example, the name they give me is Alan Hansen. I normally call that the slave name. My spiritual name is Captain Kojo Moses, okay? I remember Moses meant to be born, okay? And those are just words. But when you put I am, there's no one in this world who can say that they are weak, or they are strong, or they are rich, or they are poor without saying I am. Because that's the name of all of us who will ever express here, is I am. And that's the question everyone have to ask themselves, is who am I? So in this time of the great awakening, this time when people come into their real common sense and understand that real common sense is the God self, they come up with the idea of a pandemic to keep the people in fear, to keep the people in control, to keep the people in survival mode, to keep the people in the Hunger Games society. That's why they have to take people like David and them off of the internet for speaking this kind of truth. And as time goes by, these religious people will realize that they've been brainwashed and that they've been deceived. You are the I am. And there's no other God. There's no man in the sky. There's a man in you. The immortal man. That's the real you. And when the real you leave this house, we take the house that made from dirt, and we say dust to dust, ashes to ashes, back to the dirt. But that consciousness lives on, and will continue to live on. So I know what I'm speaking from. Okay, let me just read down to 18. I believe when I reach down 20, I might close it. He said, no man has seen God at any time. Speaking about the invisible self. When you say no man has seen God at any time, it is think. Think. No man sees God at any time, right? But the pastor tell you, the Lord spoke to me. The Lord tell me. Like I see a woman on the internet saying the Lord tells she about the third eye. And she have a video whether the third eye is demonic or the third. These people like to talk about demons, but yet they can't cast out the demon. And fail to realize that demons just represent negative thoughts. But anyway, so you do not see the wind, you feel the wind. You do not see your thoughts when you have your thought of that which you would like to manifest. You do not literally see it. So your true essence, your true being, you don't see, you don't literally see. When I speak to you, you're not seeing the words that are coming from my mouth, you're hearing them because of vibration. Then it says here, the only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father. And remember, I told you, you are the only begotten Son. He had declared him. You're the one who's declaring that there is an immortal, infinite intelligence. You're the one who's displaying that. That's why I'm saying God, the universe, whatever name you want to use, cannot have any mouth without your mouth. Because when preachers say God speak to them, which mouth God using to speak to them? It's their own intuition speaking to them and they're telling the Lord. Okay? Once you get that, you'll understand what I'm saying. The ears, if God have an ears, it's your ears. If God have nose, it's your nose. If God have eyes, it's your eyes. What do you expect? So we are the one who are declaring this power. The power that creates all things. We are the one who's declaring it. And let me clear up something for you. Many people look at the wall and say, well, who created the wall? If you want to know who created the wall, answer this question. Why can't you see the images that have been downloaded in a computer or a flash drive unless you plug in the flash drive to the computer? And why is it that the computer came from the mind of a man and the flash drive came from the mind of a man, which is the expression? Why that is so? Now the computer have a CPU, central processing unit, and so on, right? It have memory and everything. So you too. It's just a replica of you. Everything that's created in this world is a replica of you. It's in you. Motor cars driving up and down. Planes are flying. And all of that is taking place in you. And you're beholding the outer expression. Because the plane came from here. The automobile came from here. Everything come from within. Oh my. So everything is within. So the world is downloaded in you in an invisible way. And then you're beholding the outer objectified reality of it. And you believe that it's real. No, it's not real. It's imaginary. It's an imaginary world. It's the Maya. So he said, no man has seen God at any time, the only begotten Son, which is the bosom of the Father. He hath declared him. Okay, so I explain that for you. Let me just read down to 19 and 20. Okay, I think I'll wrap up there. And this is the record of John. This is the record of John. This is John, I say. This is John. Remember, this is John, the outer man. When the Jews sent priests and Levi from Jerusalem to ask him, who art thou? Those who have a religious mentality, Jews, priests, and so on, Levites, and so on, who are from Jerusalem, they're those who are claiming that they're living in a place of peace, joy, and happiness, and so on. They're claiming that. Because that's what Jerusalem really means. Jerusalem is not speaking about a place somewhere in the Middle East. The mystics were just using these terminologies for you to learn to exercise your mind, because they were using these terminologies that you could identify with, and you can look and you can see that they're there to draw a mental picture to you, because they're teaching you all about the mind. To ask, who art thou? You want to know who is this, right? The religious ones with the religious mindset, they want to know who is this too. That's why many identify themselves with this. Because they look into John, they look into the outer man. They believe that they are human trying to become spiritual. When you're actually a spirit having a human experience. And he confessed and denied, no. But confess, I am not. I am not. This is not the I am. When I speak of the I am, I speak about the inner man. So when you say I am not the Christ, it is speaking about this fleshly man. It's not the Christ of which we are speaking from. This is only the house. This is only the expression. But the